more time. Come dream a dream with me. Come dream a dream with me. Come dream a dream with me, that I might know your mind. And I'll bring you hope when hope is hard to find. And I'll bring a song of love and a rose in the summertime. Come walk in rain with me. Come walk in rain with me. Come walk in rain with me, that I might know your mind. And I'll bring you hope when hope is hard to find. And I'll bring a song of love and a rose in the summertime. Come share a rose with me. Come share a rose with me. Come share a rose with me, that I might know your mind. And I'll bring you hope when hope is hard to find. And I'll bring a song of love and a rose in the summertime.
Good morning, and welcome to the Unitarian Universalist Church of Spokane. We're glad to have you with us. The UUCS is a very welcoming congregation, and we appreciate your unique background, beliefs, and lifestyle. If you're one of our longtime members or have been here a short time, if you're joining us today for the very first time, or if you're streaming with us this morning, we're delighted to have you. Welcome, everyone. Before we greet one another, I want to let you know that this morning's service is a multi-generational one. This means that our entire congregation will stay in the sanctuary together. There is no religious education this morning. As usual, we will have an activity table in the back with coloring pages, books, and some small toys. You'll also find some activity bags back there filled with some fidget toys for those of us who need to fidget throughout the service. We also have one short announcement this morning. The annual Pride Parade is next Saturday, June 9th at noon. An announcement will be in the weekly email on Thursday afternoon about whether UU Church will meet and line up in the parade. There are UU love notes like this one in the back for the people to sign, which we'll be handing out during the parade. In these times of hate, let's show up and show our love. I hope to see you all there, and I'd like to invite Reverend Todd for a short announcement.
Thank you, Joe. Yes, just another quick message, but how you guys doing, by the way? Good to see you. Welcome to everyone. Just wanted to put, a couple of announcements. Actually, one more reminder that next Sunday after our service is our annual meeting, after this service, so I hope you'll be here for that. Also, next Friday at 7, one more plug for Roy Zimmerman, the Roy Zimmerman concert that's going to be here. Roy Zimmerman, if you've not heard him before, is an extraordinary folk artist, satirist, songwriter, and always writes new material because he tries to keep up with the times as a folk artist should. So I think you'll hear some pretty poignant messaging and have a good time at the same time next Friday if you can make that. Tickets are, we're asking $20 if you can contribute that for a ticket. And to sweeten the deal, Peggy and I are sponsoring a church cookout starting at 5:30 next Friday. That is going to be hamburgers, hot dogs, as well as some vegetarian and gluten-free options. So all that for the price of admission. And we will have childcare. Youth and younger ones who want to attend the concert are free, of course. So feel free to bring one and all. And by the way, if $20 is too steep for you right now, you know, whatever you want to offer is fine. And if you don't have anything to contribute right now, we've actually had some folks that have purchased some tickets to give away. So just let us know, and we're happy to do that as well. But that's, again, next Friday, cookout starting at 5:30, Roy Zimmerman concert starting at 7. So I hope that you will be here. Thanks.
If you'd like to take a few moments to greet one another, and be sure to say hello for someone you haven't met yet. Thank you. We'll have much more time to greet one another and share our stories during the social hour after the service, which, as always, includes great coffee and good conversation. Todd forgot to mention there's Peggy Ekloff is selling the tickets in the back for the Zimmerman concert.
We now turn from our informal greeting of one another to formally begin our service by lighting our chalice, the symbol of Unitarian Universalism, the symbol of our unity and our solidarity, of our openness and inclusion of our community and our individual uniqueness. May this small flame be our offering of warmth to those who are cold and alone and a light to those in darkness. May it be a flame that ignites justice in our world and a beacon of hope to those in need. May it reflect a spark of truth wherever truth has been lost, and cast a healthy shadow of doubt wherever truth has been found. Our opening words this morning come from Betz Winnecke. As we gather together this morning, may we learn to recognize and affirm the pieces of possibility, the bits of good that we all bring. May we encourage rather than control, love rather than possess, and enable rather than envy. Allowing our individual gifts to weave a patchwork of peace, the soft, deep blue of sensitivity and understanding, the red energy of creativity and the white heat of convictions, the risky, fragile green of new growth and the golden flashes of gratitude, the warm rose of love. Each of us is indispensable if we are to minister to a broken and a wounded world. Together in our gathered diversity, we form the whole. So be it.
Good morning. This morning, we are engaging in several rituals which mark the passage of time and the stages of life that we move through together. We will be honoring the hard work that our community engages in as we all together explore our religious and spiritual identities. This takes on a particular poignancy as we celebrate the growth of our children. So, we begin this morning with a celebration of new life. I would like to invite Reverend Todd Ekloff forward and the families of these children forward. Nathan and Ryan Switzer, Veronica and Lucas Montgomery, Franklin Burke, Lincoln Matlin, Edie Althea and Bear Kruger, Raylan Rodman, Phoebe Perkins, and Coral Dixon.
This is a whack.
Yes, we're going to play with that in a minute. Yeah, just hang out. Just hang out. It's going to be organized chaos no matter what we do, so that's perfectly fine. That's expected. Hey, how are you?
Good morning.
Good. Come on up. Come on up here. So this will just kind of be like an informal family gathering. So feel free to just kind of form a very disorganized crowd right here in the front of the church, okay? Because I'm not always going to be using child speak, and so some of you are going to get bored and fidgety and move around and stomp and whatnot, so that's perfectly fine. I'm glad you guys are here. I do want to say to everyone that is here, this is a really meaningful ritual, I think, for our kids, and they're going to hear some things that a lot of us didn't get to hear and should have heard when we were young, and so I invite you to open up your inner child today to share in this experience, both as adults and as people who should have felt welcome in this world. I'm going to begin with 4 questions, and I'm going to ask those of you who are parents and caregivers to respond with the phrase, "We do." We do, okay? And that is not a character from a Star Wars movie. That's actually "we do." I'm also going to, on the fourth question, ask the entire congregation to respond with, "We do." Okay? So, who comes dedicated to the growth, safety, and well-being of these children? We do. Who comes dedicated to standing with them today and to letting them stand on their own when they are ready? We do. And though they will stand on their own, who comes dedicated to holding them in your hearts all the days of your lives? Who comes dedicated to creating a world wherein these children feel safe and loved and can grow to achieve their fullest potential and their fullest dreams? We do. We do, yes. So we're calling this a child dedication ceremony, but it is really a child welcoming ceremony in which the adults present dedicate ourselves to their well-being and to their evolution. For in the spirit of individual freedom and fulfillment, it would not be right for us to dedicate their lives to the will or purpose of anyone but themselves. It will be up to each of them to discover and determine what purposes they shall dedicate their lives to. As Khalil Gibran so poetically said, "You may give them your love, but not your thoughts, for they have their own thoughts. You may house their bodies, but not their souls, for their souls dwell in the house of tomorrow, which you cannot visit, not even in your dreams. You may strive to be like them, but seek not to make them like you, for life goes not backward, nor tarries with yesterday." Rather than undermining their own agency by dedicating them to a particular faith or cause that belongs to us, we prove our love most by dedicating ourselves to providing the space and to creating the world they need to fully blossom and fully be themselves. Instead of dedicating them to our purposes, we welcome them to this world by honoring who they are and who they are to become. Instead of seeing them as a problem to be fixed or as a sin to be redeemed, yuck, we embrace them as beings of light.
We do.
We welcome you, especially you,
We do.
as star children, as drops of stardust forged in the 14-billion-year-old light of our endless universe. We shall not forget that each of you is a gift from the heavens. As ancient light now embodied on earth, you have become earth, humus, human, and we welcome you to your new home among us. This world, your world, is a world of four directions, the four corners that our ancestors called the four winds: north, south, east, and west. May you always be free to choose your own direction and find your own way in this world, and may the certainty of those four corners always help you find your way home to your hearth, to your center. And that's exactly what they're doing right now. So no worries, okay? This world, your world, is also a world of the four sages: spring, summer, fall, and winter. To remind you there is a season for all things: for growth, for harvest, for letting go, and even dying. May you know the right time to begin, the right time to play, the right time to work, and the right time to rest. And this, your world, is a world of four elements: earth, fire, wind, and water, the stuff of your body, your heart, your mind, and your soul. In honor of the first element, earth, we invite you to fully inhabit your bodies, to fully incarnate without shame or fear of your wishes and wants. The earth is our great mother. Step softly on her back. Let her gravitational pull embrace and hold you here. Let her love ground you to the horizontal plane of connection and relationship to your brothers and sisters in all directions, and to all the other creatures who are also her children. In honor of Earth, we give each of you an annual to plant in the earth, to nourish and watch grow, and to watch fade away, symbolic of our own life and times in this precious cycle of life. So I'm going to let you all take a moment, and you can get help if you need it, to pick out a flower pot. You can pick a purple one or a yellow one to take home and plant. Yellow. But wait, there's more. In honor of the second element, fire, we invite you to shine bright, to be a light of the world, and to fulfill whatever fire is burning in your soul. Rumi wrote, "My soul's a furnace. It's happy with fire. It's enough for a furnace to be the house of fire. For love, like for a furnace, there's always something to burn. If you don't see this, you're not a furnace." In honoring the fire within you, your brilliance, the light of your life, we give each of you a candle to light and extinguish in times of transition as you grow.
Lincoln, look over here. Want a candle? It's for you. Yeah, I don't think it smells.
It's like Christmas, isn't it?
They got a candle missing? That one?
But it's not Christmas, that's right. It's even more special. Okay, in honor of the third element, air, we invite you into the realm of thought and spirit, to think for yourself and find your own sources of inspiration. In so many languages, including ancient Sanskrit, Hebrew, and Greek, the words for breath and spirit are the same word: prana, ruach, pneuma. Even in English, respiration and inspiration share this same root. To be spiritual is to breathe. So the element of air reminds us no matter what inspires us, as creatures of the earth, we must embody our spirituality. We must live it through action. In welcoming your spirits, I'm going to give each of you, thank you. I'm going to give each of you the gift of breath, of air, from our friend, the red-tailed hawk. And this is a red-tailed hawk, pay attention to the root, who expired here on our church property. And Jacob Johns found him and made this wonderful gift for me of the red-tailed hawk tail feathers. So I'm going to, while we take a moment of silence to just breathe, I'm going to bless each of the kids with this tail feather, starting with Lucas. Would you like some breath? Would you like some? How's that feel? Good? Good. Would you like some? Do you feel that? Yeah. Would you like some? Yeah. Okay. How about some? Would you like some breath? Does that feel good? Yeah. Would you like some? You want to touch it?
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
Soft.
careful with that.
Well, you can't pull it. Here we go. Ready? Oh. Oh, here we go. Want some?
Look. Look at that. The feathers.
Do you feel that? That's the tail feather of the hawk. Blessing you. Oh, you want to touch it too. Just softly.
Gently.
There you go. Very good. Very good. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Outside.
They're tactile, so they have to. Some have to touch. That's okay. You have to touch too. Yeah. Okay. Ready? Feel the wind without it even touching you. Yeah. Did I get everybody? I think so. Okay. All right. Now for the fun part that you've all been waiting for: water. Oh yeah, the best element, right? So we honor the fourth element, water, fashioned from the first and most abundant element everywhere in the universe and on earth. Just like the earth, each of our bodies is mostly water. Did you know that, Lucas? That you're mostly water. You're 70% water. Yeah. Our hydrogen bodies mirror our hydrogen world and our hydrogen universe. Stay with me on this, okay? The water within us, our blood, our sweat, our tears, has the same salt consistency as the ocean. So in honor of water, we invite our children to remember their ancestors, the stars, the elements, the other creatures, and the forebears from which you sprang. Not the forebears, the forebears. May you learn to go with the flow, to remain fluid, to sometimes rage and storm ahead, and like all water, return to the source that makes you one with the past, one with all beings, and one with the universe. In welcoming you to this place, I invite you to each turn the rain sticks and make the sounds of running water. Yes, this will be very chaotic. A water storm.
Go there. Go that way.
Now don't drop it on Dad's head. Sounds like water, doesn't it? It's called a rain stick.
Does it have rain in it?
I think so.
Phoebe.
How about you, Miss Phoebe? Would you like to try the rain stick?
There you go. As the storm softens to a quiet drizzle, life is a blessing, and each life is a blessing to us. And so we conclude this welcoming ceremony in gratitude for the presence of these children in our world. We hope to be good stewards of your gift among us by honoring your uniqueness, encouraging you to find your own path, and supporting you along your journey. May each of you find the love and belonging you deserve and the freedom to be and become who you are. Welcome to our world. Thank you. Thank you.
See okay? Let's make sure you can put on. Don't get too close.
Oh, so that close?
Yep.
Okay, okay.
Back up a little bit. We have a special song that includes some audience participation, so please be ready for instructions in the last verse.
On the day that Nathan was born, on the day that Ryan was born, on the day that Franklin was born, the angels sang and they blew on their horns and they danced, and they smiled and they raised up their hands. On the day these children were born. On the day that Lucas was born, on the day that Veronica was born, on the day that Raylan was born, the angels sang and they blew on their horns and they danced, and they smiled and they raised up their hands. On the day these children were born. On the day that Evie was born, on the day that Bear was born, on the day Althea was born, the angels sang and they blew on their horns and they danced, and they smiled and they raised up their hands. On the day these children were born. On the day that Lincoln was born, on the day that Phoebe was born, on the day that Coral was born, the angels sang and they blew on their horns and they danced, and they smiled and they raised up their hands. On the day these children were born.
So now I want to invite you to say your name with a lot of energy in the next verse. Ready? On the day that was born, on the day that was born, on the day that was born, the angels sang and they blew on their horns and they danced, and they smiled and they raised up their hands. On the day when all of us were born. Thank you.
Each time we gather together as a congregation, there are always those who are with us in our minds and hearts, and we want to wrap in our love and care. We kindle light this morning for them. Let us share a moment in silence, embracing others who are here in our hearts this morning. You are welcome to say their names aloud as you are willing. Those named aloud and those remembered in silence, and all those who are suffering elsewhere in the world this hour, we hold in our community of compassion. Now we will have the story for all ages.
Can we have all the children and any young at heart who would like to join me for a story? Oh, just Corinne? Any other kids? Well, I chose this book today because it's one of my favorites, Oh, the Places You'll Go by Dr. Seuss. And it's one of my favorites because it seems like no matter how old you are, this story is still relevant. It still makes sense. Congratulations, today is your day. You're off to great places, you're off and away. You have brains in your head, you have feet in your shoes. You can steer yourself any direction you choose. You're on your own and you know what you know, and you are the one who'll decide where to go. You'll look up and down streets, look over them with care. About some you will say, I don't choose to go there. With your head full of brains and your shoes full of feet, you're too smart to go down any not-so-good street. You may not find any you'll want to go down. In that case, of course, you'll head straight out of town. It's opener there in the wide open air. Out there, things can happen and frequently do to people as brainy and footsy as you. And when things start to happen, don't worry, don't stew. Just go right along, you'll start happening too. Oh, the places you'll go. You'll be on your way up, you'll be seeing great sights. You'll join the high flyers who soar to high heights. You won't lag behind because you'll have the speed. You'll pass the whole gang and you'll soon take the lead. Wherever you fly, you'll be best of the best. Wherever you go, you will top all the rest. Except when you don't, because sometimes you won't. I'm sorry to say so, but sadly it's true that bang-ups and hang-ups will happen to you. You can get all hung up in a prickly perch, and your gang will fly on. You'll be left in a lurch. You'll come down from that lurch with an unpleasant bump, and the chances are then that you'll be in a slump. And when you're in a slump, you're not in for much fun. Unslumping yourself is not easily done. You can get so confused that you'll start in to race down long wiggled roads at a breaknecking pace and grind on for miles across weirdish wild space, headed, I fear, toward a most useless place, the waiting place. Waiting for the fish to bite, or waiting for wind to fly a kite, or waiting around for Friday night, or waiting perhaps for Uncle Jake, or a pot to boil, or a better break, or a string of pearls, or a pair of pants, or a wig with curls, or another chance. Everyone is just waiting. But no, that's not for you. Somehow you'll escape all that waiting and staying. You'll find the bright places where boom bands are playing. Oh, the places you'll go. There is fun to be done, there are points to be scored, and there are games to be won. And the magical things that you can do with that ball will make you the winningest winner of all. Fame. You'll be famous as famous can be, right, Corinne? With the whole wide world watching you win on TV. Except when they don't, because sometimes they won't. I'm afraid that sometimes you'll play lonely games too. Games you can't win, because they're games against you. All alone. Whether you like it or not, alone will be something that you'll be quite a lot. And when you're alone, there's a very good chance that you'll meet things that scare you right out of your pants. There are some down the road between hither and yon that can scare you so much you won't want to go on. But on you will go, though the weather be foul. On you will go, though your enemies prowl. On you will go, though the hackin' cracks growl. Onward up many a frightening creek, though your arms may get sore and your sneakers may leak. You'll get mixed up, of course, as you already know. You'll get mixed up with many strange birds as you go. So be sure when you step with care and great tact, and remember that life is a great balancing act. Just never forget to be dexterous and deft, and never mix up your right foot with your left. And will you succeed? Yes, you will indeed. 98.75% guaranteed. Kids, you will move mountains. So, be your name Buxbaum, or Bixby, or Bray, or Mordecai, Alley, Van Allen, O'Shea. You're off to great places. Today is your day. Your mountain is waiting, so get on your way. Thank you.
We'll now gratefully give and receive this morning's offering, which sustains this community and its mission to the larger world. As I read your name, please come forward. Anna Marie Martin, Anne Gregory, Ariel Locker, Barb Stubing, Bill Petrie, Bob Cameron, Dick Gammon, Dr. Kelly Rasmussen, Alyssa Lowe, Elizabeth Wilhelm, Jan Gard, Jane Brune, Jim Lee, John Lowe, John Bagby, Judy Gammon, Kitty Klitsky, Mary Benham, Maureen Johnson, Michelle Rasmussen, Nancy Hand, Patty Bedelov, Peggy Eckloff, Rochelle Strother, Robin Burchett, Ruth French, Sarah Switzer, and Wesley Shantz. One cohesive group. These are or have been your religious education facilitators for the 2017-2018 year. Please join me in thanking them for their service to our community with the responsive reading number 652 in your order of service insert, The Great End in Religious Instruction. The great end in religious instruction, not to stand our minds young. It's you guys. With our eyes, but to look inquiringly, steadily, Religious education is one piece of our ministry to children, youth, and their families, but it is a fairly significant piece. Contrary to the way we seem to often organize ourselves, religious education is not exclusive to Sunday morning classes. Religious education is happening all the time. Just as we learn things like language by observing those around us, we learn about religion and spirituality by watching our parents, hearing stories, watching movies, reading books, and so on and so forth. Not to give them a definite amount of knowledge, but to inspire a fervent love of There is a theory in liberal religious education circles that there are three kinds of curricula: the active, the passive, and the null. We teach by the way we act, what we say, and by what we don't say, in addition to the normal classroom setting. One of my favorite quotes, which speaks to this, comes from words by Maria Harris and Connie Goodbread. Faith development is all we do. Unitarian Universalism is all we teach, and the congregation is the curriculum. Not to bind them by irresistible prejudice. All of us are religious educators for our kids, but also for one another. It is something we do by virtue of the fact that we gather in religious community. Not to impose religion upon them. There are, however, people in this community who go one step further by giving their Sunday mornings to the religious education of our children and youth. This takes more than just time. It also takes emotional and spiritual investment and preparation. And this year, as we have been shifting our model of religious education classes, it has taken a bit of increased fortitude and an ability to roll with the punches. Now, as a symbol of our thanks, please accept a bag of tea. You may be seated. Now, before we move on to the rest of our service, there's one more person I would like to lift up. Elizabeth Fitzgerald, would you please come forward? In the short time that I have been here, I have learned an incredible amount from Elizabeth. She is a fountain of knowledge when it comes to child development, and the information about families who come through the nursery that she is able to store in her head helps me do my job better. There is something about the care and love she has for children, and the way it is combined with her confidence in them that is truly inspiring. And quite frankly, it is a way of viewing the world that I aspire to. Elizabeth has devoted an incredible amount of time and energy to the youngest in our community and their parents, and I don't believe our congregation would be what it is without her. It's been nine years in the nursery. We have been fortunate to have her for such a long time. It is time, however, for her to move on. Elizabeth is entering into exciting new stages of life and career. You will still see her at church on Sunday mornings, but she will be here for her own spiritual development instead of for work. Elizabeth's last day as nursery care provider is next Sunday, June 10th. Elizabeth, on behalf of the Unitarian Universalist Church of Spokane and the many families you have cared for in your time as nursery care provider, thank you.
Our meditation words this morning were written by Reverend Susan Mitchin. Come into this room, way into this chair, breathe into this very body that will be you, for better or for worse, in sickness and health, till death do us part. Come into this heart and break into the boundlessness of wild beauty, no beginning or ending in you, but flowing through like white water, reaching toward all that ever was and ever shall be. I invite you now to join us in the silent meditation.
Hey there, Delilah, what's it like in New York City? I'm 1,000 miles away, but girl, tonight you look so pretty, so you do. Times Square can't shine as bright as you, I swear it's true. Hey there, Delilah, don't you worry about the distance, I'm right there if you get lonely. If this song another listen, close your eyes. Listen to my voice, it's my disguise. I'm by your side. Oh, it's what you do to me. 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 What you do to me. Hey there, Lila, I know time's getting hard. Just believe me, girl, someday I'll pay bills with this guitar. We'll have it good. We'll have the life we knew we would. My word is good. Hey there, Delilah, I've got so much left to say. If every simple song I wrote to you would take your breath away, I'd write it all. Even more in love with me you'd fall. We'd have it all. Oh, it's what you do to me. 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 1,000 miles seems pretty far up. They've got planes, trains, cars. I'd walk to you if I had no other way. Friends would all make fun of us and we'll just laugh along, because we know that none of them have felt this way. Delilah, I can promise you that by the time that we get through, we'll never ever be the same, and you're to blame. Hey there, Delilah, good, and don't you miss me. 2 more years and you'll be done with school, and I'll be making history like I do. You'll know it's all because of you. We can do.
We started our morning with a celebration of new life. We will end this morning by celebrating the transition from youth into young adulthood. To introduce our bridger this morning, I'd like to invite Elizabeth Fitzgerald forward to the pulpit.
Before I introduce our graduating senior this morning, who's here with us, I wanted to just mention another youth we have who's also graduating this year but is no longer in this congregation. She is also taking part in her bridging ceremony and service at another UU congregation in Colorado, where she and her family moved this last year, and that is Elizabeth Palmer. And I think a lot of you know the Palmers, and they were a huge part of our community. And I got a message from Libby this morning. She was excited to go take part in her bridging ceremony at her new congregation, but she very much was thinking of us and missed this community. So I just want to make sure we all remember her this morning. Our graduating senior this morning is Joe. He's sitting right behind me. And, yeah. I've had the pleasure of getting to know Joe over the past several years. Like myself, he's very much an introvert, and because of that, I've gotten to know him in slow little stages of new, lovely discoveries of who this amazing person is. I am so thankful that he was willing to share himself with us, and I've been constantly surprised by the hidden depths and talents and thoughtfulness and kindness that Joe has. And I have had on more than one occasion the experience of being surprised, but then also, of course, this is Joe. He has all these hidden talents. Of course he's a competitive fencer. That makes perfect sense. I know that I was radically changed by knowing Joe, and that our community was, and I hope that we changed him in some small part, and I have no doubt that he'll change the world. Never doubt, Joe, how much we care for you, and this will always be a safe space and a home to come to no matter how long you're gone or how far you go.
So, Joe, I invite you forward now with your parents for our bridging ceremony. The transition into adulthood can be a strange and confusing one. As you find your own way of moving through the world and continue to discover who you are, I hope that you will also continue to find joy and laughter in all aspects of your life. And I hope you know that wherever you go and whoever you become, you will always have a place in our Unitarian Universalist tradition. Please accept this book, Becoming, as a companion for your continued religious and spiritual development.
Yusuf?
Together with the chalice and flame make the symbol of our faith. It is the symbol of our unity and solidarity, of our openness and inclusion, of our community and individual uniqueness. May this chalice be an offering of warmth when you feel cold and alone, and a light when you are in darkness. May it cast a beacon of hope whenever and wherever you need it. May it reflect a spark of truth wherever truth has been lost, and may it cast a shadow of doubt wherever truth has been found.
Joe? Pat, are we? There we go. Thank you. And I've also seen that transition of really learning to pronounce my J like a Y, and then you switch to Joe here toward the end, which is fine. So Yusuf, Joe. I told you at the first service I was going to make it short and sweet, and I did neither. So. But I don't want to say exactly the same thing that I said then, because those sentiments were heartfelt, and I want to give some heartfelt sentiments again. Every Tuesday night we have a group that meets here, and we practice what we call the art of being thoughtful. And the art of being thoughtful is a word that for us combines the ability to think, to be intelligent, to be critical thinker in life, but also to be considerate of others. And I have found that to be true of you. You don't need to come to that class because you are an innately thoughtful person. I remember when the family first started attending, shortly after I came, or were you here before I? No. You came about the time I started, yeah. So I've known you most of the time. I've been here over 7 years. And even from the start, you often would stay in the service and come up and comment on the sermons. And I just thought that you were very unique in that way, that you enjoyed having your mind stimulated, and that you've remained a thoughtful person in that regard ever since. But also, you are thoughtful and considerate and polite and kind to the people around you, and that also makes you thoughtful. So I just want to honor that gift that you gave to our church as a member here the past 7 years, and to, as Elizabeth said, know that there's always a place here for you. And even as you go off to do wonderful things and your own things and continue to evolve as an individual person, there'll be a part of you here with us. And I hope that the values that you've gained from being part of this community, your I won't say your thoughtfulness, because I think you came with that, but certainly the values of being open-minded and being able to live with the discomfort of not knowing everything, and so importantly, being able to respect those who disagree with you or who you might not agree with, are values I hope that you'll take with you, and in so doing, take a part of our community with you. And so I'm going to close by giving you this rose. Is this the rose? There's special. Many of these roses represent our children's dedication earlier because the thorns were removed. But we want Joe to leave with some thorns because that's part of being an adult, and I know you already know that. But as I said earlier, when you look into the heart of the flower, as Thich Nhat Hanh said, you see nothing of the flower itself, but the elements that helped it become: the earth, the wind, the fire, the water. And I hope that when you look into this heart of the flower, this flower and the heart of any flower, that you'll remember the elements here in this community that help shape you, and you'll remember how you help shape our community. So best of luck to you. I'm going to miss you. I love you, and I know you're going to do great things. Thank you.
Please stand as you are willing and able and join me in celebrating Joe's bridging with a responsive reading in your order of service. Your time is now. Today, we honor the youth among us, you who are stepping beyond and away and toward. Today, we share in your journey and encourage your discovery. Today, we welcome your energy, offer you a safe place to grow. Today, we celebrate your hopes and dreams. Come live, breathe, thrive, and rejoice. Your time is now.
Today, we applaud you for all that you have been, for all that you are now, and for all that you will be. Today, you cross this bridge. Go now and explore with wonder. We will support and nurture you. You are the future.
Today, you cross this. Go now and make choices. We will support and nurture you. You are.
Today, you cross this bridge. Be patient and hopeful. We will support and nurture you. You are an inspiration. Together, we share a special place. Together, we learn. Together, we love. Together, we grow.
Final hymn of the day. It's number 1051, We Are. You heard it for the offertory. This is a new one to sing today, okay? For each child that's born, a morning star rises and sings to the universe who we are. For each child that's born, a morning star rises and sings to the universe who we are. We are our grandmother's prayers, and we are our grandfather's dreamings. We are the breath of our ancestors. We are the Spirit of God. We are mothers of courage and fathers of time. We are daughters of dust and the sons of great visions. We're sisters of mercy and brothers of love. We are lovers of life and the builders of nations. We're seekers of truth and keepers of faith. We are makers of peace and the wisdom of ages. We are our grandmother's prayers, and we are our grandfather's
patience, we're seekers of truth and keepers of faith. We are makers of peace and the wisdom of ages. We are our grandmother's prayers, and we are our grandfather's dreamings. We are the breath of our ancestors. We are the Spirit of God. For each time we're born, a morning star rises and sings to the universe who we are. For each child that's born, a morning star rises and sings to the universe who we are.
Our benediction this morning is an excerpt from Jack Kerouac's On the Road, the original scroll. Let nature do the freezing and the frightening and the isolating in this world. Let men do the working and the loving and the enjoying. No man should go through life without once experiencing the healthy, even bored solitude in the wilderness and himself, finding himself and his love for his fellow man, and thereby learning his true and hidden strength. Because in the end, you won't remember the time you spent working in an office, sitting in front of a blackboard, or mowing your lawn. Go climb that mountain. Amen. Blessed be. Salam alaikum and shalom.